Welcome back to the conversation. And as you all know, we do talk about anything that has to do with Lagos. Yes, we're Lagos centric. And today we have something that is really, really, really concerning. We're talking about the rising cost of food prices here in Nigeria. And of course, Lagos.
Yeah.
You know, we're bringing it down to Lagos. What are the causes? There are different reasons, you know, different causes that one has had. One is insecurity, banditry, the headers farmers clash. Some have also said climate change. Some have said, oh, is the dollar rate. So whatever is causing ewedu to be more expensive. And
how
of course,
dollar is
okra,
affecting the price of ewedu.
Yes. We have someone here. He is the past national vice president of a Mile 12 market, Kelvin, Nwaoha, and he will be talking about the rising cost of food prices in Nigeria and, of course, Lagos, which is the center of the country. Anyway, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning and God bless.
Let us talk of market value so that everybody can understand. How would you, what is currently the state of prices of food in the market right now?
Well, when you ask what is the price of food items in the market, that is, it has...
Cut across.
Good.
Yes.
You talk about rice, you talk about yam, you talk about gari, you talk about maize and all that
Does it
will...
keep going up or is, you know?
Yes, it keep going up and will continue to go up until the proper things are put in place or the proper things are done, either by government or by individuals involved. Because the thing is a two-way thing. Government has a role to play. Individuals also has roles to play. Starting from, you don't just talk about food items without looking at where it starts, where it begins, how it continues to grow to the final destination, which is the end user. Because ordinarily it is the end user that is crying that the prices of food items are so high. I wouldn't want to generalize it, but let us look at a product which I'm so conversant with. I think I should be allowed to maybe start from there before we go to other places. Let us look at yam, for example. How many months does it take to produce for yam to be ready for sale or to be eaten? A minimum of 6 months.
Minimum of 6 months. Okay.
That is to say, those who planted in November, December are the one harvesting now, which is more than 6 months I'm talking about. I'm just minimum, but the proper is 7, 8 months. So what are the things that leads to this production before you talk of coming to the market? You talk about seedling, you talk about cultivation, you talk about fertilizer, you talk about transportation, harvesting, transportation, and bringing down to Lagos, which is, let's say, the final destination. When you look at these processes and look at what it takes, you find out that someone will even tell you that it's not as costly as it's supposed to be. On the other hand, I'm talking about production. Now, the man that is selling yam, that everyone will say, yam is produced in Nigeria, why don't we go there, get yam, eat yam, because it's supposed to be cheap?
Go where? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you get there?
The question is, how do you get there? And when you get there, the same man who is selling yam wants to buy rice. Has anybody taken that into consideration? That he wants to also sell in proportion to what he is going to buy. He gives you his yam at a tuber 500 naira. You are happy. He takes the 500 to go and buy rice. He cannot buy rice. What do you think he will do? He will come back to the drawing board and say, no, I need to jack mine up as to meet up with other demands. So it's a total thing, and it's something that the government should, you know, I'm sorry, By the time I come into this studio, I ask a question: do we say things the way they are in this country, or do we continue to manage it? And I think the constant managing of things, giving it facelift, has really brought us to where we are.
The real picture.
So, to a very large extent, we should begin now to say things, or to say things the way they are. I live in Lagos. As a former national vice president, I have farmers across the country. But I want to use a particular state as a point of reference, Benue State. That is where we get much of
the food
our
basket of the nation.
food baskets of the nation. So I went to the bank and take a loan of 20 million. You know what the interest rate is? Give it to a farmer to go and farm as to produce harvest after 7 months. Because this is a loan that runs within 1 year.
Yeah.
The interest is what? Accumulating, counting for me. In between, he has planted, the seeds are growing. Let's say he planted 2,000, let's say 200,000 pieces of yam. Why these yams are growing? Herders allow their cows to go and overrun the farm. At the end of the day, he is able to get only 5,000. He cultivated 200,000 seedlings, and he was able to get 5,000. What do you think he will do? He will put the cost of what he has borrowed, the labor he has paid for, the time he has wasted on that fight. That's why when you say insecurity, fine. If the country is not secured, where farmers will go to farm at liberty, where they go and harvest, come to the market and sell. Now they come to the market. There is what we call middlemen who are also in these markets. The middleman collects it from the farmer and sell to the trader who brings it to Lagos. The trader who has bought from Benue, who wants to transport it to Lagos, will put transportation, the cost of loading, the cost of offloading, the cost of hotel bills where he's going to stay when he comes to Lagos. All these factors will be factored into the price of yam. He will meet, revenue people across the states.
The borders. Yeah.
He will meet policemen across the state. He will meet all sorts of security people across the state. I'm sorry I'm on national TV, but that's just the fact. As he is passing, he is dropping. So at the end of the day, he comes to Lagos. He wants to sell. He bought the yam, 1 tuber at the rate of 2,000. And other factors has taken 4,000. How much will he sell the yam? 6,000 per tuber. So it's not as if this same thing I'm saying now goes to the man who is also cultivating rice, watermelon, this, pepper. It's across board. So when you look at these indices, you find out that somebody will say, but how is the dollar affecting banana? How is the dollar affecting plantain? Ewedu and so on and so forth. Yes, it is also affecting. But another factor is that we also, as individuals, are also sabotaging. That is the major reason why I agreed to take up this topic. We are sabotaging these things to an extent.
How?
Yes. How is that we are taking advantage. We are taking advantage of the situation and we just do it. Somebody will tell you 1 basket of tomato, 150,000. 180,000, 110,000, 95,000.
It was like that, yes.
So this will lead me to my question, the issue of hoarding and overpricing.
Yeah, in terms of perishable goods, you don't hoard. Because if we have time in this program, I think these are the areas why we should also talk about the areas where government should come in and do some certain things that will help us improve these things. You can't hoard tomato. When tomatoes' time is to ripe, the tomato will ripe. If you don't sell it, it will get wasted. But you and I know also that in countries like Brazil, just to mention, they have facilities that while these things mature, government collects them or individual takes them, put it in a place where they can roll them out from time to avoid
So you're
perishing.
saying that storage is also
A problem.
a cause for...
No. What I'm saying, in one way, storage should be encouraged in a modernized way to see that, like I gave you an example. Maybe you are aware of what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm using Brazil as an example. When tomatoes get to the age of, ripe, they collect them, put them in a place to avoid, because when the number of baskets in the market is bigger than the number of people
Coming to
buying,
buy.
For
the
demand,
price will become zero. The farmer will lose. When the production is lower than the demand, you know what economics is all about, the price will also go. But a situation where these facilities I'm talking about, government comes into it. Government begins to deal with farmers directly. Because somebody was talking about money trading and so on and so forth. So many organizations like ours are not even aware of these things. Yes, it's not coming to us. And it is assumed that traders are, managing it. So that's why I say sabotage, because it is the same we, Nigerians, that will form a clique, either diverting it, not allowing it to get to the people that will really use it for us to have the desired result that we needed.
All right, with the rising cost of food items in the market, how has it been so far? What's the trade pattern like? Has the consumer behavior like in the market?
Yeah, let's begin with consumers' behavior. I'll ask a question. This morning, I am leaving my house as a poor man. I managed to give my wife...
You don't look like a poor man.
Okay. I managed to give my wife 10,000 naira to take care of the family of 4. 4 kids, myself and my wife, that's 6. She comes to the market. She wants to buy yam. She wants to buy rice. She wants to buy beans. She wants to cook soup. She managed to branch the yam section first, and a tuber of yam is 8,000. What do you think would be her attitude? What do you think will be her mindset? What do you think will be her reaction? She will get angry. Either she will she will pour it on the poor man that is selling or people around her, because she wants to manage the 10K to feed the family. And one item, just one item, wants to take
up all the money.
It is not palatable. It's not palatable. And those sales in the street will tell you, hey, let's go to my 12, let's go to that place. When you come to my 12, the story may even be, because they will not sell one to you, they want to sell in bulk. So it becomes it's hard to explain, to be honest. Then to you, those that are selling, you see them sitting down a whole day and they didn't make sales. And most of these products are perishable in nature. If you don't sell them as at when due, you lose them. So it's a very difficult situation. Nigerians are going through a very difficult situation. Though it's not what we envisaged, but this is what is on ground now. So the only thing we should be thinking about is how to bring in... I don't like using this word palliative. I don't like palliative as...
It's a word.
I don't like it.
Okay, some group of people are of the opinion that there should be price control on food items. How do you think that can work? That federal government should, the government should come together and have a meeting with traders that look, or farmers that look, these prices of food, let us have a uniform price. How visible do you think that can be?
Yeah, I want to say that it is a good thing to think in that direction. Another thing is, how do you implement it? That's why government should put people who has what it takes to look at these issues critically. Those that are down, not necessarily those that are up there. Because one, how do you put up a price control How do you tell a farmer to sell his product at a particular rate when you, the government, did not aid him or her to come to the final process? It's not possible. You can't tell him to sell the goods within the price you think is possible. Whereas he has collected loan from the bank, like I said. He has also done a lot of expenses. At the end of the day, you tell him, sell a basket of tomato 5,000. Do you think it will be possible? No. So until government begins to go back to put the necessary things in place. What is wrong with the governor of Kogi State? I'm sorry, with due respect. It has been alleged that 80 billion EFCC is looking for him. If he uses 6 billion of that money to buy tractors,
Farmers.
to give to farmers, buy seedlings to give to farmers, do you think the prices of goods will not come down? It will. Because a nation that cannot feed itself is in trouble. And that is where we are like heading to.
Tilting towards.
So unless the government come and do the necessary things that they need to do, we will keep on coming to the television, talking every day, making analysis, whereas the cocoa is still there. So having price control is in two ways. What the government goes abroad, buy these things, subsidize it, and sell, forcing the traders to sell to the rate they are selling. That has been the problem we've had since 1986. Was we stop producing, we keep on importing and importing and importing and importing. This is that's the cause of where we are now. So going back to it will not be a solution. But doing the right thing by creating the enabling environment, doing the necessary thing that we need to do, we may suffer for 6 months.
But the end result will pay
The
off.
end result will be better. Let's say in the next 6 months now, government takes it as a priority that in all these states that have land that, agricultural prone areas, these are what we are going to do. Lagos State is going to produce rice. We have the soil and everything. Lagos State goes into rice farming. Kogi State goes into yam farming. Areas where you can. In the next 6 months, these things will do what? Will begin to calm down. Because if you don't sell, your brother will do what? Sell. Then, in terms of facilities, the rate at which someone takes his loan to do a particular thing should not be that to agriculture all over the world. You know how much government of United States, government of Germany puts into agriculture. Most of the rice you are eating here is Jimmy Carter rice now, from Jimmy Carter farm, maybe harvested 4 or 5 years ago. They bring it down for us here. So somebody was able to have a farm, do those work and ship it down. Can't we do that here? My answer is that we can. We have all it takes. So government should begin to look in that direction.
Also, we have seasonal farming practices. Do you think this also contributes to
in
the rising
Nigeria?
prices
In Nigeria today, seasonal farming to me has been a thing of the past in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
About climate change.
You get the point. Climate change, but at the same time, here in Lagos, you eat corn almost from January to December. Am I right?
I see it, yes.
Fresh ones.
But you
Why?
just have it more in
Because
particular months.
because a lot of people have not gone into that. Are you getting the point? See, with due respect, most of these things that come from the north.
Even they come.
No. Most of these things that come from the north
Okay.
can be done here perfectly well. They produce more here. The soil, the bush, let me use the word, the bushes are there. Do you know that now we have what we call yam that comes from the eastern part of the country this season? They are used to run from July to October. But based on what is happening now, a lot of farmers have shifted from the east down to Ogun State here. and they produce better products than even the ones that come from the north. So all they need here is encouragement, putting the things, the necessary things I've talked about in place. Kogi State has a landmass that is bigger than the whole of Southeast. Do you know that? Do you know that? Kogi?
Kogi, really?
Yes, the landmass of Kogi is bigger than that of the whole of Southeast. So the land is there. The government need to go into agriculture massive, and they can. The money is there. When you continue to throw money around, the inflection will be what we are seeing. Because what we are doing is throwing money around, not putting it. I'm sorry, but with due respect, because I said, should we say things the way they are? Then
No, why I asked was because I love plantain a lot, and then plantain is so expensive right now. And I'm wondering why. And they say, it's not the time for plantain. So why is plantain so expensive?
it's not the time of plantain.
Yes.
One, it is also the time of plantain. If the things I talked about are in place. But because they are not in place, these things continue to come in seasons. And if they come in seasons, the end effect is what you are seeing.
Okay. Going back to the government, what part do you think the government should now play? Because I'm looking at the time in terms of security, insecurity, and all of that. What more do you think government should do? Because everybody is aware of this insecurity issue in the country, and of course, herders and farmers clash all the time. What exactly do you want government to do in order to ensure this is brought, to a barest minimum?
Yeah, what I think as a way forward is, one, I've said it and I'm repeating it, that government should invest in agriculture. Ask me how. How is that government should provide the necessary things that farmers needed. Can't we have how will I put it so that Nigerians will not laugh? We can have a yam village. We can have a rice village. Are you getting my point? Areas that are not utilized. You get the point. The federal government can partner with the state government. These areas and these bushes that nobody has cultivated in the last 20, 50, 100 years can be brushed, and full agriculture goes on there. Supervised by government, employment will come through that. People will be employed. And at the end of the day, the products will come to the market, and government will use that products to normalize.
To
regulate prices, because this one is coming from the government. The man that is farming there earns salary. So he's not coming to determine the price. Are you getting the point? The people there are like civil servants. They work. At the end of the day, the product goes to the market. That is where the government should declare an emergency in agriculture. Yes, I saw somebody saying you can farm in your house. It's a game. It's a good game in that direction. People should be encouraged to go into agriculture. That should be. It's not only in education or in this and that emergencies are declared. Should be declared in agriculture. If not,
Okay,
and the masses are hungry.
Let's look at Lagos State government right now, and all the Okay, my producer said we need to go on break. We'll go on this break, and when we come back, this conversation will continue.
My Lagos has given me more reason why I should allow my Lagos to be more neater, because my first experience was on my way to Jibowu. You understand? I was drinking. I don't want to mention the name of the pet. So I was having a pet with me, very chilled, in the afternoon now. And I threw it from the door. So immediately the boss was asked to stop, and the officer was asked. It was Kai then, and the guy was like, "Who threw this bottle?" I'm very vocal and I'm bold. I said, "Officer, I'm the one. What happened?" He said, "Please, can you come down?" Say I should pick it. I was using Danko and me pick it. In fact, before A and done, 2, 3, 4 officers has surrounded me. They asked me to pick it. I had to put it in my bag, and already a car has smashed on it. So I was asked to pick it and put it in my pocket. Like I wanted to argue with them, but later one of them called me that this is Lagos. Actually, I know this is Lagos. I'm a Lagosian, but that you look at the road, and to be sincere, that street was very, very neat. And ever since that day, in fact, I don't want to care if I'm in my private, if I'm in my personal car, or inside an Uber or whatever. I make sure whatever I take, instead of me throwing it away, is either I put it in my pocket or in my pouch.
Welcome back. It is still the conversation. And you had it there, the Lagos sense. And he has learned something, and I'm sure he's going to teach his children also not to litter the environment. But we still have in the studio here Kelvin Nwaoha, the former National Vice President, Mile 12 Market. He has been with us here in the studio. But before we go back into the conversation, you're going to share with us your own Lagos sense.
Okay. What I will share as my Lagos sense dates back 34 years ago.
Wow.
And I just arrived
to Lagos.
Lagos. I was to visit an uncle who lives in Amukoko. So I entered Nwaoha from Bariga, where I stay, getting to Oshodi. I think I have about either 20 naira or so. That was the only money in my pocket. And as a fresher, I put the money here. So, one, I was confused on how they call where you are going to, so I wasn't really following. Mokoko, mokoko, mokoko. So I don't really know what they're talking about. So when finally a guy that was around me was like monitoring a JJC. So it was like, oh boy, now where you they go? I said, I'm going to Amokoko. So all these vehicles passing are going to Amokoko now. I said, okay, the next one, if you see me jump, you follow me. I said, okay, no problem. So the next one, where I come from, vehicles will stop, reverse back, and pick you. But here in Eko, you have to run after the vehicle. So when another Nwaoha came, and like we've discussed, he now moved. So getting to the door, he was asking me, go in now. So another guy was standing on the door who didn't really allow me to. So before I understand it, my 20 naira has disappeared. And the conductor is saying, enter Wale with your change. If you no get change, you go down. Now, this one is not talking of change. The whole money I'm with has disappeared. So
how did you?
I came down. I didn't go again. So I had to beg the vehicles that are going back to Bariga to help return me to Bariga, where I went and borrowed. The conductor was somebody that was like, I've seen this young man before. Okay, enter. Well, I told my story that I've lost. So that's one of my Lagos.
Wow.
Okay, back to our discourse for today. Just last week, the Lagos State government declared 918 million in sales at the Mushin
Food hub.
Yes, food hub, which is one of the interventions of the state government. How has that, really affected the high cost of prices of food?
As much as I will commend the governor and the government of Lagos State for most of their programs in intervening to see that people don't get the worst of the situation. They are trying, but they need to try more. Because situation where you go and buy a bag of rice, because they do it in such a way that you don't buy to go and sell, you buy to go and eat. And
There's a cap.
There's a cap. So how long will it last? So that's why I said I don't really fancy palliative. As per, giving us this rice, fine, it's okay. There's nothing bad about that. It's okay to an extent.
That's why it's a palliative, it's a short-term
they are all
solution.
palliatives. So palliative is short-term solution
yes.
that does not solve the problem. I think that's the definition.
It's not meant to solve the problem.
Just
to mitigate.
Exactly.
Cushion the effect.
Cushion the effect. So Lagos State is fantastically doing well through their local governments, and from Koshofe, my chairman is fantastically doing well. I'm saying it the way it is. I'm not polishing it. Just saying it the way it is. Barrister Moyogulewe is doing fantastically well. I don't know of other local governments. They can also come here and also testify to that. He's doing it well. He has even gone ahead of that, visiting homes, the elderly, by himself, to make sure that the goal he set to achieve, he does that. So it's okay. Lagos State government should continue, because it's not something that you do for 2 months or 1 month. You continue until the major problem is solved. And one of the major problems I'll suggest to my dear governor is Lagos has, people say there's no land in Lagos. There is, where we can also farm. The motorized mill is a big project. Lagos State should do more in cultivating so that the mill will also be useful. I know that it is, but they should do more. Rice, if Lagos gets it on rice, we are like 50% what? Done. We are 50%
Rice
of
is an everyday meal.
It's
a staple.
So to me, I encourage Mr. Governor to do more on that, so that even the ones that we are sharing, the ones we are giving out, will be Lagos based.
Okay. So coming from you that you're on ground in the market, what do you think is the future outlook of food prices in the coming months?
Well, farmers are complaining that they don't have much. You understand? We give the little money we have, we give to farmers to make sure to aid them to farm, as to bring forth some of us to sell. So you see, they are complaining. At times they complain to deceive you based on money you've given to them, or they complain in all fairness that the situation on ground. I have a friend of mine, he's a member of the Honor of the Night of Samulumba. He visited me yesterday, he came from Benue, and I was asking him that I have a program today. So based on what we've been doing, what do you think? He gave so many factors. That's why I said even ourselves are part of the problem. He farmed his yams, harvested them, and was selling them batch by batch as to his own means of livelihood. But do you believe that a member of the family contacted the so-called hoodlums or bandits? They came, broke the place, packed the yams, killed those that they want to kill. And the man is just like crying. So the little ones he brought to Lagos now, he has doubled the price to see how he can make up
for the loss.
for the losses. So even we ourselves are problem to ourselves. At times, I would say, are these things sabotaged to make the government look so bad, or to bring a government down? No, to a further extent.
Because you begin to ask those questions.
These questions.
Why,
Exactly.
why are you doing this? What's the motive behind
this?
this?
It's not an issue of why are you, why are we doing this
To ourselves.
Can't we, look at it from the other side, that if this thing crumbles, if there is problem,
We will all be
all of us will be in soup.
It's a ripple effect. It will always come
All
back
of
to
us
us.
will be in soup. So I'm not a prophet of doom. I'm not seeing a bleak future, but I think something needs to be done to avoid a bleak future.
Thank you, Joe. Joe, any more questions?
no more questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelvin Nwaoha, the former National Vice President, My 12 Market.
Why do people always... My name is Prince Kelvin.
Okay.
You always cut it.
Keep Prince
Tell
Kelvin
me
Prince.
you want two names.
Okay, why not? Prince.
Prince Kelvin Nwaoha.
Prince Kelvin Nwaoha.
Yes, that's my name.
That's your name. Thank you for coming. He's been talking about, the rising cost of food prices in Nigeria. We'll go on another short break now. When we come back, the conversation continues.